Stand by for the Comic Industry Insider's live pre-show. Stand by graphics. Cue graphics. Roll intro. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start pre-show. Cue logo intro. We're live, people.
Hey everyone, it is Brian, and I am here live, Comic Industry Insiders Live. We're a little bit late on the pre-show, but it's a big show, and there's a lot of news. And as always, there's a little more technical issues than normal. I'm going to be running the show this week because Adam is off on assignment, and poor Trevor has got some con crud. So let's talk a little bit about con crud with my co-host this week, comics industry, comics and magazine's own editor-in-chief, Joe Keating. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. I don't think I got concrete. I'm really nervous to say that out loud, but
Don't
I think
say it out
I made
loud.
it unscathed so far, except being very tired. Besides that, doing pretty good.
That sounds. Hey, speaking of being tired, fresh off of a red eye, it's Comics and Magazine's own.
What are you
Gabe.
doing? Red eye. Yeah. Come on, man.
Yeah, silly business. It's us East Coasters don't really have much of a choice sometimes if we want to get back to our families in an expedient fashion and don't want to deal with the maddening throngs at the San Diego airport on Monday morning. So yeah, Sunday night I was out and got home Monday morning around 7:45 a.m. So it was my biological clock is still catching up, but the clock in my soul is full. Wait, can clocks be full? You know what I mean.
That is the most that may be the most labored analogy I've ever heard.
I am nothing
goodness.
if not laborious.
I love it. Well, guys, it's a heck of a show this week. Let's bring on a couple of our other guests and say hi to Carl Choi, who was also in San Diego. How you doing, Carl?
Good. What's up, guys? Good to see everyone.
Good to see you, sir.
We also have Nate Murray.
Good morning.
Who was in San Diego. We have Aaron Brown.
Hey, everyone.
We've got Eli Schwab.
Eli, you're muted. You're muted.
This is why we do pre-show, everyone. checking levels. And our buddy Sean, who's going to be here to go through and actually, I just realized that I need to make sure that I've refreshed the numbers this week because I don't know that I've done that.
I feel like the odd person out. Am I the only one here who was not at San Diego Comicon?
No, I can't go to San Diego because, like, what if we all get sick? So one of us had to take the bullet and stay home.
You're the designated survivor.
That's right. I have a rule that only 2 of 3 data bros can be in one place at one time. So since both Jeff and Django were in San Diego, like I just legally couldn't go.
Ooh, presidential of you.
Yeah. Well, we got to have we got what's that? Designated survivor or yeah. Oh no.
You all right, buddy?
Yeah. I just had to get the numbers for the top 10 in there. There we go. We're good to go.
Ooh.
We're good to go. Yeah, this is going to be a jam-packed show. So I think what we're going to do is Joe and I will start out by doing the headlines, and then we're going to bring the whole panel on, except for Sean, and talk. Unless Sean, you want to pitch in here too on the news. Did you pay attention to the news last week?
Oh, of course. I mean, I'm all over it. I have to be for my show.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my wife was annoyed because we had a date night on Friday night, and I was like, but there was a DC panel just like 10 minutes ago, and I just like 5 minutes, okay? And then, yeah.
So
great.
what's the perceived top news out of the show? Or am I spoiling future content for this?
Yeah, we can't talk about that. We're about to roll. We gotta save that for the good stuff. All right, folks, I'm gonna send everybody back, and we will talk on the other side in about 5 minutes. Talk to you soon. All right, Joe, you ready to do this thing?
Let's rock.
Let's go, buddy. Oh, it's really, really hard to push all of the buttons. Who knew? Welcome, everyone, to Comic Industry Insiders, a business podcast about the business of running your retail shop or publishing empire in the comics industry. I'm Brian, and with me this week is the editor-in-chief of Comics the Magazine, Mr. Joe Keating. Joe, how you
Howdy.
doing?
It's really good.
Just
Look,
back.
look what I just got in. Brand spanking new. It's not even out yet in
So jealous.
the rest
Yeah,
of
that's
Earth.
why, like, honestly, this Thursday is my favorite day of the month because my books arrive on Thursdays, and I'll have next week's books, and I will that night bust open. Actually, usually within 15 minutes of it arriving at my front door, I bust it open to find the Comics the Magazine. It's my favorite part. So yeah, very excited.
You get to find out whether or not to be mad at us about potential secret variants. So
I'm always so enraged that you make me more money, Joe. It makes me so mad when I have to charge $20 for that rare 1 in 20 and it sells within the, first 20 minutes. So enraged.
but
It's,
yeah,
it's
man,
really a
it's
problem.
been good. It's been good. It was a kill. We'll talk about this more, but it was a killer San Diego. I had a blast.
Yeah.
It's good to be back. I seem to have made it besides being exhausted, like healthfully. So I'm grateful for that.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
gosh, we have a special guest.
man. Wait, are you
This
serious?
is totally unexpected and unplanned. Look at who we have.
On the road.
Adam Freeman in a car. How you doing, buddy?
I'm still recovering. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not only am I recovering, I'm having to do all of the things that happen in a person's life when they're gone for a week and their family's like, "Yeah, I don't care what a big deal you are. Get to work. Let's go. We got shit to do." Yeah.
I bet you Gabe can can attest that too.
No question. Yeah, it's you pick up the pieces when you're out of town for that long. There's no question.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. But I'm
Absolutely.
here. I'm here sort of. That's I'm sure my audio is great.
It's a very fancy interior on that automobile. I'm very jealous.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it's a tiny Fiat that a friend of mine gives me occasionally to when she is out of town, and so I'm picking her up from the airport. So there you go. Hey, that's
What
the
a
whole
guy.
story. Look at that.
I can't even fit in a Fiat. Literally, my shoulder, my head just hits against the side of the car.
What did you get? Say hi to Les. This is Les.
Hello.
That's a podcast debut, isn't it?
I think so. Are you? Is this your
Look at
podcast
you.
debut?
Pardon?
Is this your podcast debut?
Sure.
I guess so. Yeah, there you go.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Yes.
Well, buddy, we've got like 6 guests this week, so we're rocking and rolling.
Then
We've
you
got
don't
so
need
many
me.
guests.
You don't
No,
need me
you
at all.
You can go off and enjoy yourself, and we got this thing.
All right, I will give you guys all of my lessons and reflections, and hopefully
Corrections.
even more. But yes, impressions. I'll probably do some impressions next week.
Sounds good, buddy. All right,
Awesome.
We'll talk to you soon. Okay,
Thanks,
bye.
y'all.
All right, Gabe, I'm kicking you off too. Joe and I got a lot of work to get through here.
Let's talk news, right? That's what we're doing here.
Oh, buddy,
Hard-hitting headlines.
it is such a wow. Like that picture not so appropriate?
Especially the monkey. Yeah, the rest of it, the whole thing is very accurate.
Oh, gosh. All right, so this week we're going to talk our headlines, see if anything other than San Diego Comicon happened, and surprisingly, other things did happen. We will do a pretty deep dive into the San Diego Comic-Con news. We've got our Prana bestsellers list and, of course, a final wrap-up. Let's get started. Big news. So the Warner Brothers Paramount Skydance merger has been delayed. Holy mackerel. What a huge thing. We're going to bring in actually industry player, Carl Choi, who,
Guys,
if I'm not mistaken, you are actually in Los Angeles.
I'm Los
With
Angeles based and
yeah,
work as a producer. So yeah, it's lots to say here, and I think it does impact a lot of what we do here
for
as
sure.
comic fans, as well as comic publishers and press. And so I do feel like this is going to be pretty significant.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll give you the bullet points. The merger is being delayed until June 1st, 2027.
Yep.
There is a 12-state coalition that's led by California that's presented a compelling case that the merger would severely harm Hollywood competition. So that's going in front of judges. Paramount attempted to stay the order, but they lost that, and they're also trying to like speed along, but the coalition is attempting to keep this original date of June 1st. And one of the reasons that Paramount wants to speed along is they are accruing what's called ticking fees, of $7 million per day in acquisition costs. And if the deal doesn't get done by June 1st, 2027, Paramount could pay up to $7 billion in breakup fee. So, which I think would just basically fund a studio in today's numbers. So yeah. So Carl, what are you hearing about this whole thing?
So I think what I'm hearing so far is, well, I'll say this: the more that changes, the more that stays the same. So historically, the movie studios at one point used to own theaters, and I feel like what's been happening is through the consolidation of all the content channels, this is actually going to start happening again. Because at the point when they were broken up, is because there was a serious conflict of interest. Because when you're controlling distribution, all of a sudden you're also controlling the production prices and availabilities, and you have a lot of leverage over talent. So it's kind of like, hey, I own all the shops that sell all your comics. So if you don't give me comics for 10 cents to $1, I'm not going to sell your comics. I mean, they could literally say that. And that's why the whole monopoly laws really are there to protect the consumers, protect the industry. So that's why you're also seeing both WGA as well as the Teamsters, who, for those of you who don't know, Teamsters are the kind of the union that represents all the folks that are driving the trucks, the gaffers, etc. And there's IATSE as well. IATSE has, I think, been kind of watching on the sidelines to see what happens. But then I think SAG is also trying to work out their own deal on the side as well. So I think obviously unions have an issue with it. Two, the attorney generals, a lot of it has to do with, on the political side, man, if you guys control all the content and where it's being produced, it's an issue, because now a lot of these tax incentives that are provided on the state level are typically done to entice production to happen in their states. But all of a sudden, you control majority of pipeline, then you can make a deal with Vancouver, for instance, and then never come back to the States, and it won't be fair anymore. And then I think the last thing for me, like trickling down to comics, obviously during Zasloff and his era, James Gunn and Peter Safran was installed as the co-CEOs. Their deal was recently extended to 2027. But I thought what was very interesting was during that time, and I think I showed it with Joe, where I really feel like, when resources are constrained, it's actually better for creativity. Because I know, I've met Jim at a poker table before, and I know he's a gambler. So I don't know if things weren't complete on the line if he would have went all in, which is what he did with DC, right? And I think it paid off. He went all in. It paid in dividends with Absolute and everything that has spun off since. And I think this might be that moment again now for James Gunn and Peter Safran. Like, what is their all in going to look like? Because if they don't prove themselves on this timeline leading up to actual merger, it's going to be a very tricky situation for them. And, no matter what the DC, comic side have done, a lot of the cinematic, projects like Supergirl has not done very well. And so it's going to be really important to figure out what's next.
Yeah. That's great insight.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. I'm interested to see where this goes. I don't really want this merger to happen because I think that less competition is bad for the entire movie industry. But we'll see. We will see.
Yeah, I am curious though, Carl. Based on your expert opinion, like I just don't know this side of the industry very well. It seemed like when it looked like it was going to be Netflix, everyone was like, "Yeah, this is going to be great." Now it's Paramount. People are like, "Ah, no," for whatever reason. I don't need to get into all that, but like, it's going to happen at some point. Like, Warner Brothers has been sold multiple times now. Like, is this? How do you see this shaking out? How do you think it should shake out? To the extent you could even read that crystal ball, like, what would you? I don't know. To the extent you can see the future, what do you hope happens here?
Unfortunately, history does repeat itself. I do feel like the theaters were struggling for a long time, and with Sony buying Alamo Drafthouse, most recently, I think I don't know if it's public yet, but they are buying a few other theaters, and so it's happening where it's vertically consolidating again, and so I'm not surprised because the truth is a lot of these streamers, they are tech companies, and I think Paramount, as much as they are kind of coming from this angle of like a studio, right? They want to bring back the Hollywood ways of talent first. At the end of the day, they also have Paramount Plus, so they're not, and they are Oracle, right? They are a tech company as well. And so, my experience is the more you go up, the more you see the same people. And so it's really just the same people shuffling chips around. And I think with this whole merger, it's going to happen. I think, ultimately similar to what Paramount did to Netflix, which was to keep bidding so that it got more expensive for Netflix. Eventually, I mean, Netflix made money. I think they got like a few $1 billion to exit the deal. So it's like, like Netflix won regardless, right? But in this situation, I think it's very similar. Like politics are politics for a reason. There's probably some haters that don't love the idea of Paramount merging with Warner and getting this whole library. So they're gonna make it really hard for them, more expensive for them, and that's part of competition, is where there's probably some, I'm not, who knows, but there are some competitor types who are lobbying against them and leveraging a lot of the levers I mentioned earlier to do that. And in a way, it's gatekeeping, but I think it's inevitable, but it's going to be very expensive for Paramount. But they are backed by, Middle East money. They're backed by the Ellisons. So there is, almost infinite, nothing's infinite, but almost infinite resources to make this deal work. Now, how are they going to turn it around and make it make sense for shareholders? That's a whole different question.
Ooh, all right.
Well,
the only message I have and the only insight I really have is something I've shared previously on the show, and I'm assuming Larry Ellison watches this, or whoever runs Paramount. I don't here. Listen, Larry, I brought this up before. Whatever you do, I know you're buying a company and it's like a transmedia thing, and you want to like get corporate synergy going, whatever. Just leave DC Comics alone. Like the people there, let Marie Javins, Jim Lee cook. Like let Chris Conroy do his thing. Let Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson do their thing. Just leave them alone, and it'll work out. That's all the real advice I have based off my expert opinion here. But
absolutely,
DC's killing it. Don't put your stamp on it. Just let them do their thing.
I love it. Yeah. Carl, we're going to bring you back in a bit, but we're just going to wrap up the news here. So let's move on, Joe. More things that you're not a super fan of.
I actually do enjoy Magic the Gathering. That may surprise you. I was very excited when they released the Doctor Doom card, so I could build a Doctor Doom Commander deck that I'll play in about 18 years when my child is no longer in the house. But
I love it.
I don't know. I mean, I gotta say, I think this whole initiative has been bringing a lot of people, like making them excited for both. I mean, Magic and more comics.
Yeah, for sure. We had a number of people buying the Armageddon #1 that had exclusive Magic the Gathering card, and these action figures all have exclusive cards. And Hasbro just announced more that they're doing. I think there's like a Malice, Captain America, Black Panther, and Doctor Doom 2099, and each one of those will come with an exclusive promo card. So that's pretty cool. Like this thing is doing well. And speaking of the Magic the Gathering Marvel Superheroes game set is the second highest universes beyond set in history. I didn't see which the highest one was,
So
but
Final Fantasy or something like that. That's
I
pretty. That
think so.
surprises
Yeah,
me.
it's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those that was huge. Um, One of the things that they're saying contributes to this is they did set a larger initial print run because it's taking so long to go back to press on these things. But they sold especially well with new players and in less traditional channels. So that's pretty cool. I mean, yeah, confirmed it was Final Fantasy. And Mad Prophet Comics, Tommy knows this kind of stuff. Um, yeah, so that's really cool. I know I've spoken to a few retailers who said that this stuff is moving like crazy well, especially like pre-order stuff really moved for them. So that's exciting. And finally, oh no, we got two more. We got two more. Not finally yet. San Diego Comicon is staying in San Diego through 2030. This is a quote from San Diego's mayor, Todd Gloria. I mean, I can't imagine that Comic Con being anywhere else. It's been there since 1970. It'd be so weird because they've talked about like maybe moving it to LA or even to Las Vegas just because there's
No,
not like
don't do it. Just
I know,
leave it
right?
alone. Look, I'm not
Yeah,
against change. I'm all for
yeah,
change as long as it makes sense and progresses a
yeah,
thing forward. But like with this, like I was just talking to someone about Vegas shows today. Just leave it in San Diego. Like
yeah,
part of it is again, look, I get it. It affects the city and it takes up the entire convention center and then some. But like, leave it alone. Like,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
Um, so I don't know. It feels too like it's built around the city now because it's not just the
absolutely.
convention center. It's like the
Yeah,
Marriott and the Hilton and like all this stuff,
the-
and then everything going on the gas lamp,
yeah,
and like
yeah,
it would become such a different show in any
yeah,
other
for sure.
location that I think it might risk destroying the thing that it is. Maybe it
Yeah.
would change it for the better. I don't know. That's not my bet personally, but I hope they figure out how to do it for the long term.
Jamie says, I think the move is a negotiation tactic to get more out of the city for
Well,
sure.
yeah,
When you
of
see,
course, yeah,
yeah, when you see the numbers, it's like it attracts more than 135,000 attendees, generates more than $160 million in regional economic impact, and most importantly, the city of San Diego makes $3 million in hotel and sales tax revenue from that show from 4 days. Can you imagine? Like, that's insane.
yeah.
So yeah, for sure. This kind of event draws major concessions from other cities, and people are going to bid on this kind of thing. So yeah, don't move SDCC. We don't want to call it the LVCC. Nobody wants those words. That's terrible. Terrible. Uh, Last but not least, our friends at ICV2 have rebranded, and they're really focusing now around the business of fandom. So they've always been this, but now they're kind of formally coming out, and they've relogoed and stuff like that. It's just so fun to see like the old ICV2, which was from I think this issue is 1993, and it's like the old capital city, or actually 83, I think, the old capital city newsletter that they used to send out, and it's kind of evolved over the years into ICV2 after Milton and capital city kind of went by the wayside. He started this in 2001, so
Wow.
ICV2 has been around for 25 years, and I think it's really the only like major news site from the 2000s in the comic industry that has maintained a single ownership and a single vision in
Yeah, I
that
think
time,
that's
right?
right. Well, okay, that word you just said right there is what I was going to hit on. Like it has a vision and it has like a set
Absolutely.
mission. Like this is the
Yeah.
thing that we do. This is a business, and I guess the business of fandom.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused what the rebranding really means because I thought they've been doing that for about 10 years, 15 years anyway. But like, props to Milton. Like he's one of the original ones. Rooting for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it helps that like if I want anything about comics business, you have like Publisher Weekly for the larger publishing business that touches on the comics business. But I don't know, yeah,
Yeah,
25 more years.
I'm super happy. Like I've been a pro member for years now because you get so much out of the pro membership. And yeah, it's amazing that they've managed to kind of keep alive and keep relatively it's not like grossly over commercialized like other sites. So
Yeah.
well done. Keep it up. Keep it up. I think this is the time when I say, Joe, comic shop owners have got a hard job.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but every week, last night I just did mine. Takes about an hour and a half, 2 hours to do my FOC. And that's with a fantastic software platform like Managed Comics. I can't even imagine if I didn't. But one of the worst parts of it is you're just going through and it's just title after title, and sometimes you don't recognize them. So what we like to do on this show is we've produced these quick cuts, which will show you exactly what is it. So we're gonna run one of those right now.
Hey there, I'm Evan Michael.
I'm Zach Johnson.
And we found the cure to road rage: dead stop. When driver's ed turns into driver's dead for a group of high school students, they must stop a maniac construction worker from killing people who break the rules of the road. And they haven't even learned the rules of the road. That's what's so fun about it. Oh yeah, get ready to get revved up.
That's right. If you like blood, guts, romance, monsters, road rage, puns, silliness, good times, then
buckle up
for Dead
Stop coming soon.
Hey there, comic fans. It's James Kahoric, and I have been working on 2 crazy new comics coming up at the end of August. Check with your local retailer to make sure you can find a copy of Valentine Bluffs Massacre Ironheart #1. We go back to the beginning, the My Bloody Valentine story, where the horror, the dread, the blood in the mine, it's all there, and it's coming back with a vengeance. Something that they have never seen before. Something that takes the slashers to a new level. So you're going to want to check that out, along with the magnificent Molarkey issue, which is our Three Stooges tribute to our pal Mo Howard, the leader of the Stooges, the guy with the crazy bowl cut, the one everyone loves to hate. He's my favorite Stooge, and I take a wonderful opportunity here to work with some incredible creators and tell some funny stories about the Three Stooges in this new issue. If you've been a Stooge collector, we've been publishing them for 10 years. 10 freaking years. We're now the second longest publisher of Three Stooges comics in history. How about that? So check it out. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Everybody needs to laugh these days. Trust me, now more than ever. So pick it up, smack your buddy, give somebody an eye poke, and enjoy this new issue along with the rest of us Stooge fans. Pop into your local retailer, ask them to pick up our comics for you, and enjoy some new comic goodness. Thanks, everybody.
I love that. That's my favorite thing. So we've got Dead Stop on FOC August 3rd. There's your information for Dead Stop #1, written by Evan Michael, Zach Johnson, and art and cover by Damian Warm. Then we have Valentine Bluffs Massacre from our friends at American Mythology Productions, written by Gio Parsons and James Gorick. Artist Andrea Akari, Roy Allen Martinez on the cover. There's the information there. And last but not least, everybody's favorite 3 buffoons, Three Stooges. #1 is on FOC this week. A bevy of writers, a bevy of artists, and more good times with the Three Stooges. You seem like a Three Stooges guy, Joe.
It's been a while. I'm a big Jim Kahoric fan, though. So
you know, good.
Yeah. He used to be my diamond rep when I was at Image. He's a great guy. So
that's amazing.
You know,
that's awesome.
Support him.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, speaking of supporting, the Waypoint Kickstarter is closing. It's got to be close to ending, right? It's a couple weeks left.
Not quite sure. I was not involved in this project on the Prana side, but I did meet the writer at San Diego, and this book looks awesome. Like I wasn't really on my radar.
Yeah.
So if you like sci-fi stuff, if you're a big like heavy metal hurlant person, this is the book to check out.
Yeah, we're in the final 15 days. It's met its goal, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's a great looking book, and I think people will really enjoy it. So get on there, check it out. You can don't smash your phone. Just click that with
Just
your
use your camera,
phone.
and you can
Yeah,
just
use
scan a
your
QR
camera
code. You don't have
like
to
a
smash
Jersey
anything.
person.
Just get it scanned in.
Uh, I'm gonna address a couple of. We've got a couple of comments here.
All
So
right.
Anthony Manzano asked, as much as they like San Diego for Comic Con, logistically it makes zero sense to keep in San Diego because people keep complaining about the traffic.
Don't move it
Logistically,
to
it would make
Vegas.
more sense to move
No,
it. I
no. I'm
agree.
using
So
my card, whatever card I have. No, don't put it
I
in
think that's the
Vegas.
Trump card. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
for whatever that is worth as someone who's attended San Diego Comic Con off and on since 1998. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't want to go to Vegas for this show. I really don't.
No, and I mean the city is a character in the story of San Diego Comic-Con. And
Yeah,
let's boil down some logistics too. Like it is what, an hour and a half away from LA,
something like
right?
that. Yeah,
Couple hours
yeah,
max.
yeah.
Whereas LA or Las Vegas is 3-4 hours away from LA. So you're getting a lot more spillover from LA than you would if you were in Las Vegas. Plus, Las Vegas just sucks the soul out of things. It's not the Las Vegas of like 20 years ago, 30, 40 years ago when it was fun. It is a corporate hellscape now. Like
Yeah,
I
this
used to
comment right here.
love
Can you bring this
Vegas.
one up from
Not super
Felicia
fun.
H here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, folks, let's look at the weather report. You
Yeah.
want to hang out
Yeah.
113 degrees while you're trying to get to your next meeting?
Yeah.
Like, come on. What are
It's
we doing?
so hot in Las Vegas this time of the year that your shoes will literally melt into the pavement. It's not
Actually,
fun.
here's a true story. So I went to Las Vegas for the Dead and Company at the Sphere around this time of year. And I went to Atomic Liquors, my wife and I, to hang out for a little bit. I parked, and I did not realize I was parked on a grate, and start pulling away, and I get the tire alert, and I check it out. My tire had melted on the grate in Las Vegas.
That's insane.
So,
yeah. So
if
you
you
don't
want
you don't-
that, sure, move it to Las Vegas. If not, let's just don't monkey with it, folks. I mean, look, stuff needs to be figured out. There's logistical stuff like Eli Cosmic Line mentioned the hotel rates. Like, yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like, what are we doing?
they're crazy. Yeah.
Like, come on,
Yeah.
let's figure this one out. But like, I'd rather figure that out than like move a thing and make it something that doesn't. Also, like, Vegas has had a couple really good Comic Cons, but also like a lot of not good Comic Cons.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's people who did the good ones can figure this out. But I trust me, folks. You want to leave it. You want to leave it in San Diego.
Or maybe you just start a Vegas Comic Con if it's that much of a need.
Yeah, sure.
You just start something there.
But talk about the story. The one thing I did
Video
purchase in
just
San
go
Diego, and I had it
Yeah.
shipped to me, was Fantagraphics did this giant, like it's seriously like this thick, oral history of San Diego Comic Con book that like RZA did the intro for and a couple other things.
Nice.
Like it's part of the history here, going back to like 73. Like, and I'm not saying just do things just solely because of history, but it's also just it works. It is the stuff need to be fixed and improved. Yeah, but otherwise it works.
I agree. 100%. Leave well enough alone.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about our hangover. Oh my goodness. So much hangover. Let's bring in our guest. And what I'm going to do is I'll have everybody come in and just tell us a little bit about who you are. Because I originally had slides for 2, but we have much more than just 2 people here. So Carl, let's start with you.
Hey guys, it's a party.
Hey.
It really is. It really is.
Hey Brian,
Carl, you're with 24/7.
I'm the publisher at 24/7 Comics. We're a third option for creators. So we work with guys like Sean Chen, Justin Jordan, most recently Lucas Lee Garza, who was at the booth, Mark Texera, who showed up at the booth as well. And for us, we're coming to comic shops this fall. So our solicitations are leading up to November 4th release with Terry Kavanaugh as our executive editor, who is bringing this 24/7 Comics Presents / Spotlight to the table, which is a quarterly anthology where one side of the flip book are original stories, and on the other side of the flip book is going to be remastered books that you guys are familiar with. So
very cool.
And thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks. Eli, tell us a little bit about you and Cosmic Lion.
Hey, how's it going? I'm the publisher at Cosmic Lion Productions Presents.
well, just productions. We're an independent publishing company, and we are based here in Los Angeles. We have over 60 books, and we started working with Prana a few months ago to get those amazing books out to the world at large. I don't even know where to start. We've got tons of books, like everything from little square hardcovers, How to Feud the Marvel Way, Stan versus Jack,
Nice.
open tale. We have my own book, Cosmic Lion Primer, which is my Arto biography. We publish Ghost Agents, a spy-fi action adventure anthology, and that's one that we kick off on Kickstarter all the time. We've got tons of amazing books. I also do a Grendel podcast.
Yeah.
This is The Devil in Detail, the only Grendel podcast. And I just had an amazing time at San Diego. For the last few days, I sounded like a political leader that we have, but now I sound fine. I cleared my throat, and I'm doing great. I also don't want to say that out loud, but I did it, I think.
Welcome to the show. Nate Murray, how you doing?
Doing good. Morning, everybody. I'm Nate Murray. I am the publisher of a company called Pug, which does a bunch of licensed things with Marvel, DC, everything like that. I'm also the owner of Red 23, which is my studio founded to make fun horror things. So we do, board games, comic books, role-playing games, all kinds of fun stuff. And then I brought my managing editor, who runs the day-to-day. What do you think you're going to bring up next?
That's Aaron Brown. Hello. Aaron.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm Aaron Brown. I'm the...
Oh, Aaron froze.
We lose Aaron.
So what happens when we get 6 people?
You guys intimidated him.
Oh, no.
That's okay.
You guys hear me all right, though?
There we
Hello?
go. Yeah, you're back. You're back.
All right, cool. Yes, I'm Aaron Brown. I'm the managing editor at Red 23. And like Nate said, we do everything from just involving horror, from comics to board games, TTRPGs, and I handle most of the day-to-day stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And last but not least, our buddy Sean of the Comics Pals, who is going to join us for the numbers, but also he's gonna chime in on some of the stories here.
Hello. I'm Sean from the Comics Pals, and I'm really excited to be here with this fine panel, to talk about all the big news from San Diego. It was a monumental event, so very excited.
Yeah. There was so much news. Let's just get right into it. We're going to start with the Ignition Press. So Ignition Press celebrated their first anniversary, and they had a pavilion. Did anyone make it over to their Ignition pavilion?
I did not. A friend of the show, Rob Guillory, was there signing. He said he had a really good time. So that's pretty much all the information that I have on it. But I heard it was cool. I'm all for this kind of thing. I think last week I mentioned Trickster, that Scott Morrison, Steve Niles was on it too, but a few other people were behind it, and I really missed that. And this year, between this and Patrick Reed's hip hop and comics thing, I feel like more and more of this offsite stuff is I think actually a good sign. Like I think more of this kind of stuff you can just go to, whether or not you have a badge for that matter, is a good idea. So,
you know who did go? Our good buddy Gabe. Talk to us about the Ignition Press pavilion.
So the space is really incredible over there. It actually used to be an off-track betting facility, which is really fascinating. It was all kind of in the round. There was a couple of bar spaces. At one of the bar spaces, they utilized sort of a full 360-degree bar that was downstairs to act as a retail location for people to buy books. And then as you climb the ramp throughout the facility, there was a lineup of sort of mini artist alley right there within the facility. And then they had a couple of really incredible sort of art gallery setups. They had live painting going on with some of the artists and that sort of thing. And then, they had a nice little backstage segment where you could, if you were a creator, you could go back and chill out and relax. And then maybe the smartest from a business perspective, they were giving away free coffee as long as you signed up for the Ignition newsletter.
That's so smart.
Very good.
That's genius. Yeah.
It was a really well executed activation. And yeah, Joe, to your point, I think this is the direction things are going, even on the publishing side. I mean, something like this that certainly in San Diego is a bit of a necessity for a newer publisher, because getting floor space at that show is nearly impossible as a new publisher. And Ignition did have a 10x10 on the show floor, but I would imagine very few people saw it because it was kind of an inline booth next to Coffin Comics and kind of like a little off the beaten path. But this certainly did do the job. I was there at 3:00 on Sunday, and it was, pardon the expression, asses to elbows.
Oh, nice.
That's amazing.
Very good.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yep.
One of the things they did also was they had they had Revenge of TV, which was really cool. I was actually watching quite a bit of that all weekend because they did like a morning to evening like live stream where they were bringing in guests and everything. It was fantastic. So great idea. Just from a business perspective, like, it's brilliant, right? Teaming with a comic shop like this, like Revenge of, that has such a foothold in the industry and people know, and then providing live coverage out of there throughout the weekend. And then on top of it, the other thing that they had at the activation is it's kind of where eBay Live lived for the weekend. Right.
Right. And so, like, partnering on that to I would imagine, and this is just me hypothesizing, but I imagine they shared costs. Like, it's just a very smart thing. And the fact that this was literal steps away from the doors, right? Complete with a patio, by the way, that they offered to different press outlets to run coverage from. Just a very smart activation.
Yeah. Those folks really know what they're doing. Awesome. Thanks, Gabe. Up next, so Marvel Masterworks. This is kind of a big deal. The Marvel Masterworks line has been kind of absent for the last couple of years, and I've had a number of our customers asking about it. So it was announced that Clover Press is taking over Marvel Masterworks. They're going to start with Kickstarters for these 4 volumes, and then they'll release them to retailers. I think this is like much needed, but I like the idea of seeing if there's still a market for these, because it's been a while. It's been a minute since we've had some of these, and I'm curious what everyone thinks about this plan.
I think it's a good plan. I think Kickstarter direct-to-consumer is the path forward for these kind of specialty products. I think that granted, I've never worked in Marvel sales department, but if I had a base of what I've seen and what I've heard, it's totally like there is a hardcore market for these. And I've also, like, part of the issue for me just as a reader was like keeping up. And if there's a Kickstarter which will get my attention and say, hey, if you want the Jim Lee X-Men volume, you can pay whatever the amount is, like, right now, and I'd be like, all right, it actually it incentivizes me more to engage with the Masterworks stuff. And I think it's a brilliant move by Clover.
Joe, we were talking in that panel that we did too about how people are buying for their bookshelf and they're buying for these kind of book stuff, and I think it's perfect for that.
100%.
Yeah, more evidence about Marvel farming out their IP as well. At the end of the day, like, they're a franchise. Disney as a company has always relied on licensing and franchise management, and so it's a matter of time before Marvel adopted what their mothership has made their fame and fortune on.
If you look at what Clover did with the Spider-Man newsprints on packaging, like, that's the path for books like this. Like, those are not huge. I'm from IDW. I'm a founder of Clover Press, so I'm pretty intimate with their titles and the histories of the sales of all these books. But they weren't huge retail killers, but they had profitable Kickstarters that got them attention. So I think the Masterworks doing this, they're going to be taken care of well by those guys, and I think it's going to be a shot in the arm for the program.
Yeah, absolutely.
Clover seems really great at building backlists. I think this is going to be a good move. So
yeah,
sweet,
super cool. Man, the Eisners were a massive event. Did anybody here go to the Eisners this year?
I didn't go
Yeah,
because I heard about the winners 2 days before.
I know that leak was, yeah, that was tragic. It really
Yeah,
was.
felt bad for everybody involved. But congrats to friend of the show and panelist on Print is New Digital, David Harper, for his win.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But did anyone else actually attend in person live?
Yeah, I went.
What'd you think?
It's always a little bit fun. I kind of always like to like not arrive sober in a way that I can enjoy it a little more. And because it's so
a long night, right? Yeah.
But it's always kind of fun, and we tend to sit in the back and hoot and holler and scream for our. We're friends with Jesse Lonergan, and so he won for Drome, and so we're hooting and hollering for him, and it's always good to see people, and I just kind of like the whole thing, and then the after party. Oh, and our friend Nicole Goo, she won also.
Oh,
so
did you? Oh, cool.
Yeah. And so then afterwards, it's the like after party there in that little ante room out front is always fun, and it's just cool to see everyone and talk to people. You get to encounter and encourage and congratulate these people right after, and they're all, comics people don't get these kind of nights, and they don't get this kind of recognition. They don't get to like feel it, so it's really cool. And I just kind of like to be over happy for people because again, like, they feel it, and they're going to go home or they're going to go back to the con tomorrow, and people are going to walk past their booth and turn their face when they say, do you like comics? But like, so it's just, they get their night and they get their time,
That's awesome. There's a long, I don't know if this is public, right? There's a long history of the organizers of the Eisners lying to talent and telling them they won an Eisner to get them to show. And then that talent finding out that they've been hoodwinked. So the leak is actually kind of like a funny karmic balance there of, well, they can't pull that trick to get a certain nominee.
Wow.
That's amazing. Sean, what did you think was the story of this year's Eisners? Because I've got a take.
Yeah. So there were a couple of things. I think for me, most notably was the amount of diversity within the nominations and the wins.
For sure.
I was really impressed this year by the fact that there were a lot of diverse voices who have been working hard and putting out great comics for a long time, but not necessarily getting the kind of recognition that's deserved from the industry. So seeing people like Stephanie Williams be nominated, seeing Dennis Cowan get into the Hall of Fame, multiple creators in those positions, Jamal Campbell, right? So like, I was really thankful and pleased with seeing that. That was a big deal for me.
Yeah, absolutely. The big winner really was DC with 4 major awards. They won Best One-Shot Single Issue for Absolute Batman Annual #1. They won Best Continuing Series for Absolute Batman, Best Limited Series for Absolute Martian Manhunter. Javier Rodriguez took Best Penciler and Inker and Best Cover Artist. Hassan Hatsmain Allahu took Best Lettering, all off of Absolute Martian Manhunter. And Dennis Camp had a huge night with Best Limited Series for Absolute Martian Manhunter and my most hated comic of 2025, Assorted Crisis Events. Because damn you, Dennis Camp, for making me cry. I'm a robot and don't have emotions. And like Joe said, our friend of the show, David Harper, won for Sketched, which, yeah, congratulations to everybody. It was a great show overall. And personally, my friend Andrea Gilroy and Katie Pride won Books with Pictures Eugene Spirit of Retailer Award, which I was super happy for her.
Very good.
She was not going to go. And then at the last minute, she was like, I should go. Because this week she's in Michigan. She was going to be on the show, but she's coming to Michigan this week. So she went from there to home, back to Michigan. Oh, what a nightmare. Other news, the Comics Pro Retailers Day. Was anybody there for the Retailers Day?
I was there for a part of it, yeah.
I was there to pitch for the first time as a publisher.
How'd it go?
There you go.
Went pretty well. I mean, I just kind of only had 5 minutes, so I blasted through everything we were doing. I'll do a 30-second version for you guys if you want.
Good. What do you got?
All right. Basically, I was telling them what we were doing at the con. We had these newspapers created for everything that was happening. And the highlights of what was happening was all the signings that came about, featuring some of our creators, Sean Chen, Mark Texera. We had Godtail there. Anderson Carmen premiered Cyber League. Terry Kavanaugh brought Howard Mackey there. Lucas Lee Garza, Mannix, Brian Pucciletto. We had our exclusives. We had our card hunt. And these card hunts are super fun because we're a partner of like PSA, Big Clutch, Comic Link to offer these cards that people can collect for free. Now, what are these cards is basically a quarterly preview to all the covers coming in fall. So imagine all these covers are coming in comics in fall, but you could get them in hand ahead of time. And then if you collect all the cards, you got to participate in our big card hunt to win this huge prize tag. And this prize tag includes signed books of our fall edition bundle, Lady Mechanica signed by Joe Benitez. We got this Absolute Batman 22 signed by Joe Benitez. We got this Absolute Batman 20 PSA slab. We got this Absolute Batman homage Daniel Color Carl Zero signed by the creator Matt himself, and then original art by Jim Lee and Lucas Lee Garza. So you win all that. So that was crazy. And then what I talked about was also the retailers. We're going to be sending out these bundles. And then if you run out, you can order them. But it's basically 24 comics for $7. And within that, you basically get 24 copies of this. And then one mystery book that you could do with what you want. And that mystery book is very special because it's serialized, numbered, only limited to the bundles. And the idea is everyone's giving blind bags to customers. I want to give the blind bag upside to the retailers. And so that's kind of everything that we're promoting. And these are all the exclusives. But it was crazy. Last but not least, the surprise for us was Mr. Jim Lee shows up on Sunday, texts me on Saturday night and says, "Hey, can I come sign our new It's a new Absolute Batman print, etc. that he did with his Lucas Lee Garza." And so these prints were like limited to 100 that they were signing and selling, and it sold out within that time. So it was crazy, man. It was a crazy weekend, but that was my.
That's nuts! Wow.
Yeah. Wow. It was wild.
That's pretty awesome, dude.
In a crazier weekend, but yeah, that's probably why my voice is gone. My whole team is like just spent, and yeah. So it went from that, and what was super encouraging was retailers coming from the Comics Pro conference to our booth afterwards and basically getting to know us more, thanking us for taking the time to present. And, I told the guys when I got back, we're a nobody. We're the like small potatoes, but we're feeling so much support. And, I think that in itself just speaks so loud about the comic book industry and how welcome it is when we're committed to supporting creators and their original stories. So that experience was amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Eli, how was your San Diego Comicon?
Oh, it was amazing, man. I got to do this is the first time in 10 years that I haven't been like behind a booth, and I kind of like came up, for 10 years at San Diego. I used to work with this dude Greg Horn that I just met and I was just a booth babe for him for a while. The good looks always sell prints, baby. Anyway, so 10 years on, he gave me the booth like for a couple years, and I did it for Cosmic Lion. But this was the first year that I was there, like as a person, as a professional, as someone who people cared about opinion. And I was on 4 panels, one with Joe where we became best friends because we both love the Grateful Dead, of course, and with Adam and the one with Adam. I just was there like a few hours earlier for the Gru panel, and it was Marky Vanier and Stan Sakai, and then all of a sudden there I am on that stage talking to, unfortunately, more people than were at the Gru panel, but like fortunately for us because it was awesome, and like it just felt really good. And then the last day we had a panel that was just for independent, like Rise of the Independents, and then that one was one I was like asked to be on because of the work I'm doing, in comics. So that felt good to get recognized and feel good about things, and just got to meet a lot of creators. And I'm working with. We went to this legendary panel that was like again with Stan and this creator that I'm working with now, Willie Mendez, who used to work with Trina Robbins and started making comics in the '60s and stuff. And they asked her what's bringing her joy now, and she said working with me on stage and stand.
That's
so it's
amazing.
That's cool.
I was like in tears, man. My body went on fire, So to see that this thing that I started, 20 years ago just by myself has become something bigger than myself. It was huge. And then 20 years later to be at San Diego, the basically biggest stage for all this and have to have someone on stage next to Stan Sakai, who I was playing with Usagi figures in the bathtub at 5, So like, it's just, everything's full circle and humongous. And it felt really, really great, man. I'm super grateful for everything that happened.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Nate and Aaron, how was your San Diego?
It's good. We were mostly taking meetings, not exhibiting yet. So we've lined up some things that we can't really talk about. But we're going live with a card game we're doing called Monster Gunslingers. So we were locking that in with GameFound. And then we have an announce with GameFound for a project that's going to go live on their Feast on the 30th. So we dialed that in. I got a chance to do the Masked Republic Headlocked comic panel, and that was a treat. Wrestling fans are awesome. I didn't realize, they're just so positive and kind. They were fired up and talked to me afterwards. I need sometimes to talk to crowds that are not jaded or just chasing an exclusive and just there for content they're stoked about. I was late to the panel. Sergeant Slaughter took my seat.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
A great picture of him behind my nameplate. And I'm like, oh my God, that rules. So yeah, good content. I think some of the stuff we have coming up this week we'll take that boost of energy and put it into these launches.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Hey, speaking of, you guys announced that David Lapham's your new monthly artist.
Yes,
David
David
I'm allowed
Lapham.
to say this, right?
Yes, this is announced. This is news. It's unbelieving cool. Dave Lapham is the new ongoing artist of the Future Is. He'd done some covers for us, and Dave's one of my top dudes, and we were talking, and it worked out. So we got a good deal, and he's going to be the new regular guy. We're still going to be bringing in, we're going to have a guest. It's not announced yet, but whatever. Juan Gideon's doing another issue for us. He's doing the silent issue.
Joe, I don't think you're allowed to say that.
They're fine.
Joe's going to get mad at you.
I know, but whatever. James Harvey, who did Doom Patrol, Young Animal, drew that issue. There's someone. Oh, we just did Gary Brown from Wolverine, did an issue with us. So, and then Inio and Mario, who helped launch the book. They're still killers, and we're still gonna be working with them on other stuff. But I don't know. It's working with Dave is a dream come true. Straight Bullets is one of those all timers, and he's just. His covers are awesome. His storytelling's great. It's fantastic to work with. We also announced Comics and Magazines officially moving up to 40 pages. And I can confirm, as the guy it's just me now, who does the paginations, that all go into interviews and stuff. So it's not more ads. It's basically what happened is I was putting together issue number 6, and we had a killer Jeff Darrow interview. And I was like, I don't want to edit this down. So I talked about, Adam, what would it take for us to just expand this? And he was already feeling the 40 pagers would be a good idea. And so thank you, Jeff Darrow, for giving us such good material. We had to expand. So number 6, awesome. No price increase. Number 7, it goes up $1. It's less than most comics out there. Yeah. And that one has Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips. At San Diego, I interviewed Dan Hauser and Laszlo from Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption on the new book, American Caper. And interviewed Danny Trejo, and all those will be in number 7.
Nice.
Because Trejo's doing new comics now. And then number 8, we have a massive interview. Again, I just don't want to edit this stuff down. I've got a massive interview. Carl mentioned Dungeon Crawler Carl earlier. I got Matt Dinneman. I've got Brett Bean, Margaret Morisi, and Adrian from Vault talking about how they actually built this thing. So it's again allowing for more actual reading to be done here. So
that's incredible.
Yeah. So come on, folks. Comics and Magazine. Check it out.
Well, maybe we can get all those folks to Comics Pro 2027 when it's back in Glendale for a third year in a
Cool.
row.
That's cool.
Which,
I thought it
yeah.
bounces to the East Coast from here.
Usually it goes 2 years, 2 years, and they try and do West and East Coast. But I think with Marvel's announcement of moving to Burbank, they've kind of got the logistics down right now. And it honestly, as a Canadian who had probably one of the worst winters that I've had in like 15 years last year, I'm okay with going to California in February. I'm perfectly all right.
Yeah, this is a good move. I heard I heard from a good source that this is by popular demand. Like people were asking for this, and also like to your point, the top 2 publishers are there now. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Again, you want to go to Vegas? Like, come on.
Well, I mean, last year, the number of just like weird hallway interactions where I was like standing outside just to get warm at one point because that convention or the booth does get cold, freezing cold. But I was just kind of warming myself up, and my friend Billy Flake introduces me to this guy Ed, and I'm talking to Ed for a couple of minutes, and I go, "This is Ed Brubaker." Like I'm just hanging out outside talking to Ed Brubaker, and it's because those guys all live in that area, and it's a 15-minute drive to get to. Well, it's California, so it's an hour and a half drive to get 15 minutes.
That's actually a really good point because I was just thinking about it too. Like, yeah, Marvel's going to be there now, DC's there now. I mean, arguably most of Image is there because Skybound's there, McFarlane's there, Liefeld's. I mean, Liefeld's not officially part.
Cosmic Lion's there. I mean,
are you in LA? Yeah, I mean, come on.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's a good move. I'm not saying we should
sense.
never have an East Coast edition or a Midwest edition.
Yeah.
I think we should, but if you got to do it 3 years in a row, it's a good choice.
Yeah, dude, I'm 7 minutes away, so I'm very happy.
Yeah, there you go.
And I think probably one of the reasons that it is going to be in Glendale is because Marco is stepping down as the executive director. So it's going to take them a year to kind of get a person. Marco has been in charge of putting together that annual convention or the annual show. And he also, does a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So he's the person that I interacted with to start Comet. And he's the person that is in charge of the website and stuff like that. So stepping down after 12 years, which including the pandemic, I think equates to about 133 years that he worked on Comics Pro.
God bless it. God bless Marco.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk some Marvel news. Holy moly, did Marvel have a show?
Hey guys, I apologize. You gotta run, Brian. But my quick comment on Marvel is I think they're very smart to follow DC's playbook. So good luck to Marvel and welcome back. I love all the hype that I had. So we'll see you guys soon.
All right. See you, Carl.
Later, man.
One of the big things was kind of the changing of the guard. We went from CB Cebulski to Steve Wacker, and so Steve Wacker really had his coming out party at this show. Did anybody happen to catch the Marvel panels?
I saw some clips of it. I saw the way that Kevin Feige actually announced that the handover. I thought was really cool. It seemed like the first time one of these handovers has happened that wasn't a total let's just say it was very positive and it was nice to see that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was pretty cool. And like I said last week, I'm really rooting for Wacker. I'm biased because he brought me in a while ago, and I think a lot of the projects he's been involved with. I mean, since he left Marvel, which is really the animation side, have been some of the more exciting things over at Marvel. So I think him bringing that energy back to the comics end. And if you look, I mean, some people have been like, oh, it's just the same old crew. It's like, nah, I mean, kind of. But if you look at the books that he was really a part of, Hawkeye and a number of others, he's been involved in some really good stuff. So I think it's exciting. I think it's just time. I mean, CB is a great dude, but I think it is time to shake things up. So
yeah, when it comes to Steve Wacker as a fan, all the years that he was an editor at Marvel, when I would see his name on a book, I associated that with that book being quality. Like, okay, Steve's on it, I'm going to enjoy this. He was editing so many titles that I love. So for him to be the one to come back and take that position at Marvel, it's one of the things that I needed to see to start to build that trust back. Because let's face it, Marvel has lost a lot of its audience trust over the last couple years. Steve Wacker coming in, some changing of the guard, freshening things up. I think that's exactly what they need.
Yeah, absolutely. absolutely. And it's a good time for a major change like this moving to Burbank. If you think back to DC, when DC moved from New York to Burbank, one of the things that happened during that whole time was Dan DiDio left, and there was a major shakeup of the executive. So that kind of same thing is happening, and that really, really reinvigorated DC. And Murray Javin's coming on as the editor in chief, and um, just it changed the game for them for sure. So hopefully, I want a healthy, strong Marvel so badly. It'd be so good for the industry.
I mean, I'm telling you, if it's going to happen, it's going to be soon, because every single time, we've given this rant on the show before, every single time stuff is not going great and new blood comes in, that's when things pop off, like the 70s, even look at look at the shooter era, look at, arguably the early 90s, maybe not the late 90s, but the early 90s, and then the 2000s, or that whole era. Like, that's when all the best stuff came out. So, like, if it's going to happen, I am bullish it'll happen soon. I don't know if it's going to be this midnight line or something later. I don't think we're really going to. I think it's going to be a while, like a year, before we really see, like, oh, it's this book.
Oh yeah,
like,
for
that's
sure.
the thing.
For sure,
I think it's the earliest we'll see it at, because of how far things ahead are.
Yeah, for sure.
And I hope they think more than just being like, let's do absolute X-Men or something. It's like, just be a little more creative than that.
I think, I mean, look, here's my prescription. I think it's do less books, and then the books that you do have people lining up, people really are gonna be excited about, which I know seems really obvious, but like, that's what's always worked, pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I would also say, like, lean back into the creative stable. Like, they have such good relationships with so many amazing creators, and then, like, don't be the tail that wags the dog. Because right now we live in an era where there is a Hickman Spider-Man book on the shelves. There is a Kevin Smith Spider-Man book on the shelves, and nobody cares because they're following the MCU stuff instead of being the thing that drives the MCU in 5 to 10 years, which is what DC does. Like, you look at DC, they're not putting out the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow Part 2. They're looking at, like, what is the next thing that will feed that IP down the road? And that's really, if Marvel is going to be that IP engine, it really has to go back to being the thing that is creating the cool stuff that will get adapted in 5 years.
Yeah, well,
not
this
being
is
the thing
an
that
overall
makes
issue, I think, with the way companies approach things. Like, as comic book creators, here's some advice to you guys: don't care about IP. Just don't.
Yeah,
just who gives a shit. Like the executive should care about that. Your manager should care about that stuff. But when it comes to you, like, make a thing that only you could make, and see what happens. And it probably will fail, and you do that enough, and then sometimes it's successful. I always go back to, like, Kirkman. He had like a litany of books that all failed. Like Cloudfall, you guys remember that? Like, where's that at now? But Invincible, it took like years. But
So
the only reason
long.
he even long, even Walking Dead, and people were like, oh, it was
2 years,
lightning in a bottle or whatever. Like, I don't know. Make great comics and hope that it will work, and sometimes it will.
Agreed.
That's the thing. People forget that, like, Walking Dead really didn't even start to pop until issue 19 when they introduced Michonne. And, like, that was when I became aware of it, and I was plugged into the comic culture back then. So it sometimes takes a while for these things to take off. But yeah, we're not going to get those juggernauts if we only go 5 issues and then give up on them. So okay, that's my soapbox. But let's get off my soapbox and talk about CB Cebulski. He is now the editor of Asian Originals at Marvel with Kadauka, and they have 5 new series in development, including a Spider-Man. There's going to be a Punisher, a Daredevil, and 2 other that weren't mentioned at the show. But this is interesting. I mean, CB, I think, has a big love of Asian culture and had lived in China and Japan before. I think his wife's Japanese as well. So he's heading over there to head up this. Should be interesting. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think more you expand out to other markets is great. I mean, there is more of a tradition of this. It would be. I mean, obviously we don't work there, so we don't really know what the dynamic is between the publisher and Marvel Comics. I didn't catch the publisher's name, but I do think it's a good move. It's like, again, it's the same thing though. Like, as long as they're good, we'll see.
I think this is excellent. There needs to be look, Marvel's a global brand, you know, and I think that they can do a lot more to serve parts of the world that frankly just want more stuff that speaks directly to them. And I think that's really great. And CB, you know, whatever you want to say about the man, he knows this market. He knows how to make this market succeed. So I have full confidence in this working. And quite frankly, a lot of it, what they showed looked pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the way the market seems to be going. Like, not to again use this to plug something we're doing, but let me plug something we're doing, which is we also launched a manga line as well, because this is the way the trends are going. And this is like, if you want to have a global brand and if you want to, you know, service the like largest part of the market, you need to do it. You got to embrace manga, and you got to find creators that are doing it from all over the world and just do it, you know. And I think there has been other Marvel like manga stuff that's been bootleg, or, you know, there was that really sick animated series that was like X-Men manga and or anime, and it was so sick. Everybody loved it, and it's just like a new way to see it. And then not even to mention Joe Madureira coming here, infusing that style in the 90s and planting it within all of us, you know. At least me. I can't speak for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the popularity of the Absolute line has been because they've adopted so much of the manga aesthetic. Like Dragata is just basically manga. Even the crazy sword of Wonder Woman, right? That is right out of Final Fantasy.
100%.
The other big their other big push was on Marvel's Midnight release. Now, this is really what they're doing here is really interesting. So October 7th, there will be no other Marvel books other than these three. There are going to be 10 covers only, which only seems like it's doing a lot of work there, but okay, only 10 covers for each. So potentially we only have 30 individual SKUs coming out from Marvel that week. And this is, I'm going to be a data nerd for a second. They're actually embracing cover letters, which I know means nothing to anyone other than us. But reading the interview where they said, yeah, internally we've been like, hey, what do you think of that cover A or that cover G? And I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Thank you for embracing letters for your covers, because it actually does make a difference in the data. This looks interesting. I think they're doing the right stuff with it. I like how they're going to give it its own week for the first 3 months, and then as of December they're going to cycle them through so that there's one a week, rather than having them kind of drop like that. But what do you guys think of this Midnight initiative?
I think it's a better rollout timing wise. I think it's an interesting idea. I mean, ultimately, like it all comes down to the same thing. I know I oversimplify this, but I think it really comes down to like as long as they're good, and it's a good lineup of creators. So I'm rooting for them. I really want Marvel to have a hit. We need a healthy Marvel. But it's interesting. I'll be watching, you know. But yeah, it's all dependent on are the books going to be good enough to keep sustainable. So we'll see.
Yeah, I like the signaling there, though. Like telling the fans, this is a key event. This is what you get this week. Like that's the best possible push for this. So
yeah,
you know, that makes us in the industry feel like optimistic about something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think my biggest concern really doesn't have anything to do with what Marvel is doing. It has to do with how people are reacting, because nothing that Marvel has said about Midnight has gotten the layperson excited yet. And we won't fully know until sales numbers are in, and we'll be talking about it right here when that happens. But on my side, it definitely feels like there's a malaise and like a lack of interest toward what Marvel is doing, even with Midnight, which feels like their biggest gun.
That's interesting. We should follow up with that in the future, because we can definitely look at the pre-order numbers and see if those numbers are moving, and take a look at whether or not this is moving the way we're hoping it is. Speaking of moving the way go ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, just real quick. I was like gonna say, I wonder if the malaise of the films is now working anti to the comics. Like as like we were saying before, why isn't the comics like working towards the future of the movies? Now is the malaise of the comics or of the movies working against the comics, where people are like, I'm just sick of Marvel. I just need. I'll read anything.
That's
else.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Another episode, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Chip is kind of taking over a lot of the Marvel universe. So there was a panel about the Armageddon push. There's a new Maximum X-Men series coming out. Punisher's joining Zdarsky's Avengers, which I don't get. Iron Man is going twice a month. It'll be alternating between incarcerated Iron Man in the even-numbered issues and War Machines in the odd-numbered issues, which is interesting. I kind of like it better than there being a second Iron Man title that nobody cares about. Doubling up on it will probably lead to less attrition. But yeah, it's interesting. They're trying some different stuff, and trying to see what will hit for sure.
Yeah, with the Iron Man announcement, I've been enjoying that book quite a bit. Actually,
Yeah.
I really like it. I just don't know if I like it enough to spend $10 a month on it. I think that's
Fair,
kind of
yeah.
where I'm at.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Fair point. Marvel also took over Hall H and had a pretty good Deadpool moment, but they also announced Ghost Rider, Black Panther 3, Avengers Endgame Encore is coming back to theaters September 26th, I think, and then of course Doomsday at the end of this year. I mean, the Hall H reaction was incredible, and we've seen quite a bit of buzz online, but still not played, as Revenge of says here.
Yeah,
It's true.
I think Ghost Rider is a good indicator. I was thinking a lot about after that news came out about like how Marvel was going into the 70s, and people were like getting really bored, and then they started doing the weirder books like Howard the Duck and everything, and like that actually like injected some more interest in it. So, I mean, look, if I'm gonna get Ghost Rider or what else am I said? Like I guess they already did Master of Kung Fu, but if I'm gonna get Star Wars, if I'm gonna get weirder Marvel movies, I mean, I think that's I don't know. I don't have enough time to keep up with the whole continuity of the thing. Like, just make a good thing starring one person.
For sure.
I just don't. I think that's for me anyway. Like, that's my interest. Ghost Rider is the best shot at getting me to go to buy a ticket again. I will say that.
Are they going to bring in Sacha Baron Cohen's? Sorry, I keep interrupting you, Brian. But
no, go
they're
ahead.
bringing in Sacha Baron Cohen's Mephisto or whatever. Is that what they're going to do? I wonder. Yeah.
Didn't even know he played that character.
Yeah, that was in
War Machine?
Ironheart.
No,
right?
Ironheart.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling, Londoner from my hometown, and Sean Levy is directing. So that's a good pairing if you're going to do it.
Yeah,
I'm actually,
and they already are doing. I'm sorry.
No,
Brian.
go ahead. No, it's your show, Eli.
No, it's not. No,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Just that they're doing that Star Wars movie together too, so like we'll be able to see what they can work on together, and then all right, I'm zipping it now.
No worries. All right, let's power through the DC news, because DC, I think personally, and I'd love to hear your guys' opinion, kind of won Comic-Con this year. Their news was everywhere.
Yeah.
The big announcement was that Batman Day, which happens in October, will have the Batman of Two Worlds with a story by Matt Fraction and Javi Fernandez, and then the opposite of that is going to be an absolute Batman story by Scott Snyder and Nick Darrington that tells the same story from two different points of view.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this about the DC news overall. I added a few books to my pull list, which is I think it's not as good. Like that Matt Walsh, maybe I might get into it, but that Matt Walsh, Jonah Hex is like that's gonna be a banger. So, but yeah, no, it's exciting. I think it's a good way to do it because the Batmen are not gonna actually meet. It just tells how they deal with the same situation.
Exactly.
And I don't know if this is part of the process, but it would be cool if Matt and Scott and Nick and much is Jorge drawn the other Batman one. Anyway, they did not say what they're gonna do. I think it'd be cool to see. But anyway, I don't know. Yeah, DC's on fire, man. Not mess with them right now.
It was great too because they also made like they had a Jim Lee and Friends panel, and during that panel they had a surprise Clayface panel with the Clayface movie team, which that movie looks crazy, and apparently it leans very heavily on Morrison and McKean's Arkham Asylum, which the clay face in that is just next level crazy. So that's really interesting too. But yeah, Joe, you alluded to it. The next level panel came out.
Insane.
Like this is
Yeah.
a murderer's row of amazing creators. You've got Vixen by Stephanie Williams and Carrie Randolph.
Oh, Kari, let's
Yeah.
go.
Static by Cody Ziegler and Diego.
Or Lord Tegui.
Oh, thank you, Sean.
You're welcome.
Saved my life there. Shadow of the Bat by Dennis Camp and Javier Rodriguez. The Demon by James Herron. Like probably the worst kept secret in all of comics, but still looks so good. And then Jonah Hex and the Shadow of Death by Michael Walsh. Like, yeah. Please put all this on my pull list tomorrow.
Yeah. This one's really, the whole next level initiative is really exciting.
It really has been, yeah. They've
and
done
props
a
to
great
Kari
job.
Randolph. Kari and I worked on a run on a Kirkman book called Tech Jacket back in the day.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see him, getting his flowers here. So
that's awesome.
Well done, Kari.
I love this. I was really, we all knew Vixen was coming. Static was a bit of a surprise. The creative team behind Shadow of the Bat being Dennis Camp and Javi Rodriguez is unbelievable to me because, they're coming off the success of Absolute Martian Manhunter, a book that I think caught everybody by surprise. Now they're going to turn their attention to Batman, a character that frankly is in a better position from a storytelling standpoint than he's been in a decade, because almost every Batman book is great. And I think this is going to be yet another one among them. Batman fans are eating good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Last but not least, there was an entire DC Absolute hour where they just put out, it was just like, holy mackerel. The whole thing was just full. Retailers, pay attention to Absolute Flash number 20 because it's the debut of Absolute Cyborg. They've said that they're setting up an Absolute Teen Titans team.
Oh, well.
Absolute Green Arrow was extended to 12 issues, and between 6 and 7, they're putting out a Black Canary special by Pornsak Pichote and Belen Ortega. Then at the end of the Catwoman series, there's going to be a one-shot Cassandra Cain by Che Grayson and Mateus Barraga. That's Adam has called Che, this year's person to watch, and I think
I would back
this
that
is
up
really-
100%. Yeah, she's got a lot of heat. She's actually doing, again, the comics are good. So I'm looking for, based off Absolute Catwoman anyway. So yeah, I think again, this is all exciting. I'm excited they're doing gatefold covers. I think those are cool.
Those gatefold covers look so cool, and I think
Yeah.
they're double-sized issues, but I don't know that they've announced that. I swear I saw somewhere that they were going to be double-sided. So basically, the start of the third year, they're going to do trifold gatefold covers.
This is what I'm saying. Larry Ellison again. Come on, man. What are you going to add to this?
Yeah,
just let him do it.
Just let him cook. Absolutely. Folks, anybody have anything else to add before we wrap up our San Diego Comic-Con coverage?
I don't. I had a good year. It was a fun San Diego. I thought the energy was good. I feel like I was thinking about it a lot. I feel like it's like the groundswell. We've predicted on the show for quite a while that like this new audience is really building up, and they're starting to explore more. It was a little quieter, I felt like, on the show floor than it had been before. But and someone had mentioned, I think in the pre-show, that the cosplay was down. But I'll tell you, man, I don't know if it's just my what's it called when your brain is trained to see something, like you see a white car, then you see a white car everywhere. Dungeon Crawler Carl was everywhere.
Yeah.
100%.
So don't underestimate that. I also looked up. I was on the ICV2 Pro. Apparently, that Dungeon Crawler Carl in the book market, that comic book sold 33,000 units.
Yeah.
So
Jeez.
I'm telling you, folks, there's a new audience coming in. Let's get ready. Let's get it together.
Absolutely. Yeah, we didn't talk about the Chain Kata ash can, which is selling for $150 on eBay right now.
It's sold out before 10 a.m. every day.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Gone like that.
Absolutely insane.
I had a brief conversation with a very big name creator, and he was saying that book, how did he put it exactly? It was gonna bring the fire that we need. So I think it's gonna be great for Image, man. I think that's gonna be their next big book.
I'll break some news here. A book that we weren't allowed to talk about much was the Jim Lee Artist Archive that's been advertised on Kickstarter for a few weeks, and that's going to launch tomorrow morning.
That's awesome.
Approval came in while I've been on this.
Wait, hold on a second. This is interesting. What is
breaking news?
Yeah. So the Artist Archive series from Pug, again, where I'm publisher, it's art books, but more in depth. So it'll go over the history of the creators. And we're kicking it off with Jim Lee, who obviously has too much great stuff to try and single out. But the book has several different covers, several different slipcases, and so much art that's what kind of held up our launch with Marvel. And everybody got back in the office and worked hard yesterday and today so that we could get a launch date and we could start talking about it. So as of tomorrow morning, let's call it 6 a.m. Pacific, that'll be live on Kickstarter.
Yeah, that's an easy bag. That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. So that's what's next for you guys next date. That'll take up some time.
That'll take up some time. Yeah, like I said, this week we're gonna roll that out. We're gonna roll out a Red 23 card game from Monster Gunslingers, and then we're gonna announce a Red 23 RPG on Thursday with GameFound and their Feast. So, biggest week of the year for me. I'm very excited about all of it.
Awesome. Eli, what's next for you?
We got a huge book on FOC right now. We had a Kickstarter for it. It's called Real Life Comics Only in New York. It is edited by Dean Haspiel and Doug Latino, and we have these huge creators like from Roz Chast and a bunch of New York Times creators to like Drew Friedman, who did an intro, and then also Dean recently got the rights to reprint Jack Kirby's Street Code in the back of that book. So this book is like it's getting bigger and bigger, and you can order it from your local comic book shop right now. Who would have ever thought that, like I said, little old kid from Maryland is publishing Kirby now right next to, his own great grandfather's immigration papers. So it's happening and I'm excited. And so that's available from FOC Real Life, on FOC Real Life Comics Only in New York. Tell your local shop. And then check us out on CosmicLionProductions.com. Tons of stuff.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I'm going to keep Joe and Sean around because we're going to run through the numbers. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us this week, and we will we'll catch you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Later.
Take care.
Got me for 2 more minutes. We got.
I know. You know what? I'm only going to need you to do one quick thing.
All right.
Talk to me, Joe. Why should people be in Comics the Classifieds?
I got so much positive feedback about this magazine. I'm telling you, folks, everyone in comics is checking out this magazine. If you want a inexpensive way to advertise to the entire comics industry and have an ad designed by Rico Renzi, this is it. It's $1 per word, 20 word minimum, $20. What are we doing?
It's amazing. It's
Come
amazing,
on, folks. Email classifieds@comicsmagazine.com. We're getting issue number 7 ready to go. Like that has Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips, Danny Trejo, Dan Hauser, Alazzo. Come on, get advertised along with those folks. It's a good way to do it. So
classified@comicsthemagazine.com, and you can get in there for $20 minimum. That's insane. Yeah. Joe, thank you so much. I'm sorry that we're going so long. I know you got.
No, it's good. It's been fun.
You're a busy man.
Yeah, anytime.
Sean and I will handle the. I didn't lose Sean, did I? No, there he is.
No, he's there.
Sean and I will handle the end of it. Thank you so much, Joe, and we will see you next week, I'm sure.
All right. See you, folks.
Thanks, Phil. Okay. All right. I'm going to bring Sean back real quick. And Sean, we're going to crank through these market share reports.
Okay. I'm ready.
All right. Oh, is this your first time seeing these, by the way, this week?
No.
Okay. You saw it earlier.
Yeah.
So DC again, not quite the throttling that they did last week with the I think last week was 43% to 20 something, but still DC still on fire, 37.91%. Marvel 28, Image holding steady in the 16 to 18% range. IDW, big week for IDW.
Yeah.
Dark Horse. Yeah, this is a good. There's been a lot of switching in that kind of bottom 8 there this last couple of weeks.
There really has been. I think that the big story here is probably Image's number, which is buoyed by, of course, the big release of Terminal.
Terminal, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Terminal number 1. It's fascinating to me how Marvel now, I think this is maybe, I don't know this for a fact, but it's in the conversation for their lowest market share in decades.
Yeah, yeah. People have said that this is their lowest market share since like the 80s.
Yeah.
When 70s, 80s when they were kind of down. But let's take a look at the actual top 10. Terminal number 1. What a monster.
Yeah.
I think a couple things that Kirkman really has the blind bag thing figured out really, really well.
Mhm.
People know that there's going to be some pretty cool surprises. I know there's what, an issue 2, I want to say an issue 6 and an issue 10.
Yes.
6 is the beginning of a 3-part David Finch arc, and then 10 is the beginning of an Art Adams arc. Apparently they have the first 18 issues completely done, like ready to go tomorrow, which is why they could release future issues. What a cool, like, neat way of doing things. I think he said there's a couple other surprises that I don't know if people have fully kind of uncovered yet, but yeah, really, really interesting.
It's a great strategy, and I think that it provides incentive, beyond just, hey, I'm going to get a cool cover. Well, what if you got a comic that won't be available to anyone but you for
Yeah.
6 months?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Yeah.
pretty crazy. That's a lot of value.
Yeah, that's nuts. And then it encourages a second purchase because now you have 10, but you need number 1.
Yeah.
Speaking of something that's happened too in the past. And then we got our usual absolute numbers. So we got Absolute Wonder Woman 22 and Absolute Superman 21. I think it was 22 as well. I think that
It was
number
21.
Was it 21? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I didn't realize they were a full month behind on Absolute Superman. Yeah, I mean, no big surprise there.
No.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 20 being that high is a little higher than normal.
So there's the story here is that this was actually a very landmark issue. This is issue 300 of TMNT, and it did also have blind bags.
It did, yeah. I'm just remembering now that we had blind bags for these as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. That's cool. And then Gambit Wanted number 1. If you would have told me this based on my opening of things, that Gambit number 1 would be ahead of Amazing Spider-Man, I have said no.
You know what though? X-Men 97 is airing right now, season 2.
True.
Gambit is huge there. They released this book at the exact right time.
Yeah, good point. Amazing Spider-Man, not surprising. Uncanny X-Men. Superman being in the top 10 always fascinates me because you don't expect it. But right now, that Superman book with Dan Mora and Joshua Williamson is so freaking good. This is the first time I've regularly subscribed to Superman since probably, I would say, New 52.
Wow.
Yeah, I love Superman, but I just don't care enough to read it month to month. But this series is really, really fun right now. For those that don't know, Superboy Prime is in the Superman role, and this was a Manchester Black issue, which is pretty fun as well.
Yeah, it's sad that our time with Prime in this book is coming to an end, but I think
Don't say that. Don't say that.
I think what Williamson has proven here is that Superman is a character who can be wholesome, but you can also have a lot of fun. You can get really great action sequences. It can be so many different things. That's what this number speaks to.
Yeah, absolutely. Hellfire Murder is interesting because there's a bit of a pivot with Marvel right now in the X-Men, and this is supposed to kind of set up the next year's worth of stories. And kind of surprisingly, like, I think it's actually being underbought right now. I think this is probably going to take off in the next few weeks as well.
So I actually didn't buy this because I figured, I'm not really reading X-Men books right now, and the Hellfire Gala is not a thing anymore, so they're pivoting to the murder, and who knows.
Yeah.
But you're right. I have read rumblings that this is a key issue, and so it almost makes me feel like I should go back and pick it up.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Don't sleep on this one, folks. And if you want to see these and the top 400 number every single week, get yourself to the Prana Bullet. You just scan that QR code and you'll find it there. And yeah, you'll get all kinds of behind the scenes news. You're going to get stuff that we didn't even have a chance to talk about this week because this show is already 90 minutes and it was only supposed to be 60. Sean, thanks for sticking around this week.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and where can people find you?
So you guys can find me at the Comics Pals on YouTube. Come hang out with us. We are live every single Thursday at 8 p.m. and every Saturday at 10:15 a.m. We'll be talking about more of the fallout from San Diego Comicon, including Marvel's big offerings from Saturday, which we were unable to get into on our show this past week. So we'll be having a really, really big, in-depth conversation about all that.
Awesome. Sounds good. We will see you very soon, sir. Talk to you
Yes,
later.
absolutely. Take care.
Thanks, Phil. All right, I'm going to plow through the last couple of things, and then I've got a special final message. Put us on your pull list. The Comics Magazine comes out next week. Make sure you get that. You can just scan that QR code and get that added. If you're interested in learning more about Managed Comics, come to our office hours. They're every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Managed Comics Discord server. You can just go to managedcomics.com/discord to get onto that server. I should really get a QR code on here. And a couple other shout outs. I want to shout out the Old Marketing podcast. Last week we had Joe Paluzzi on the show. I wasn't available for the show, and it still makes me sad. But he shouted us out on his most recent show around the 45-minute mark. It's really great because they really didn't know a whole ton about the comics industry. So yeah, it was that was pretty cool. So check that out. And next week, we are going to be starting the Library to Comics Pipeline podcast. It's a whole new podcast that the Comics Industry Insiders channel will have with Jack Phoenix. Next week is just kind of our preview of what that thing will look like. And finally, I think that's going to be it. So it's time for me to do the Atom and just thank everyone for showing up. Thank you for taking your time out of your Tuesday to be with us. I know we went super, super long, and I really appreciate that you were here. And I'm going to do a special thank you. I want to thank Marco Davanzo for just everything he's done for me personally and for Managed Comics. Managed Comics probably wouldn't be what it is today if it wasn't for Marco inviting me to a really cool panel with Comic Hub and Comic Suite way back in the pandemic. That led to a conversation with other people about data, which led to the formation of the Comet Standard, which led to me just having a ton of amazing opportunities in the comics industry, meeting a lot of the people who actually watch this show, which is super cool. Getting to call my friends, people like Adam, who I met at a Comics Pro, people like Philip Sablik from Ignition, people that I don't think past me would have ever thought that I would ever meet in public. It's where I met Django and Jeff from the Data Bros. It's without Comics Pro, without Marco, I can confidently say that I don't think that the Data Bros would exist. And, I would not be in the position in the industry that I am. I'm not a big deal, but for a few data nerds, I'm kind of a little bit of a big deal. So I just want to shout out Marco. Leaving that position, I know, is a big deal. I want to thank Comics Pro for everything they've done for me and for Managed Comics. And I want to thank you for everything you do and keep making comics great. Thanks, everyone. And as Adam would say, namaste, y'all.
Comic Industry Insiders Live is dedicated to retailers, publishers, and fans of the comics industry. This show is a joint production between Prana Direct Market Solutions and Managed Comics. Trevor Richardson is our producer. Have an idea for the show or want to advertise your brand or business on the show? Send us an email at info@pranadm.com. For more information about the show, visit pranadm.com. And thank you for saving comics.